everyone, it's Antonia Marquis, and I wanted to do another tattoo tour. I think the last time I did a tattoo tour was years ago, and tattoos are a big part of me. They're something that I truly love so much and so deeply. So I wanted to redo a tattoo tour, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten some new ones since the last one. So something that I truly find joy in is using every way possible to spread my message. So I spread my message through my words, through my presence and energy, through listening, through my clothing that I wear with certain colors or certain signs or symbols or words. I spread my message through my music and my writing. It's just something that I've always done. It's utilizing every way possible in my existence to spread my message of love, peace, and unity through any way that I can. And tattoos are one of the ways in which I show that. Our life is our message, and I truly love to lead in that way, even down to the colors. So, for example, I love silver. I love all colors, but I love silver because it shines like we shine. Gold does the same thing, but for me, silver is super rock star. And all of us human beings are rock stars. We literally are rock star seeds that came down from the universe, and we are the universe. And we're here to rock our love out loud. That is our purpose. That's what we're here to do, and that's what we're here to cultivate and hone in and grow upon and use it to progress us. So when I see silver, that's all that goes through my head. Even though if somebody else looks at me, that's not necessarily what they're gonna think. As long as that is how I feel about it, I know that no matter what, that is the energy that is gonna radiate off of me. So if I'm wearing this thing, this color, this peace sign, whatever it is, even if it's something abstract that the other person might not know the reasoning of me wearing it, me knowing the reasoning and putting intention and purpose into it helps me to radiate that energy. So no matter what, it's going to be felt. And that's what's important. I am absorbing and taking on that color of silver that I'm wearing, and it's helping me to spread the message even without words, but it's felt with the energy. So that's what I mean. Every little thing. Obviously, peace signs. That one is super obvious. You know what a peace sign means, but to me it's my passion. It's my passion, so I want to get a large one. I want it to be bold and loud and noticeable and right in your face, because I want you to feel it, I want you to know what I'm about, and I want you to hopefully be inspired when you see me rocking my piece. And it's just like that with everything I do. Like I said, every single thing that you do can be your message. You can put your message into anything. Your cooking, whatever your job is, whatever you do, your message can shine through. And it's truly what I hold dear. And I lead with love in all of the ways possible in my life. So as far as wanting to make my messages bold in whatever it is, in your face, loud, this is my passion, hear this, feel this from me, it is radiating and flowing from my heart. As far as that goes, the same translates with my tattoos. My tattoos are another way that I spread my message. I don't get my tattoos to impress anyone or to go by anybody else's rules or fit anybody's beauty standards. I get them because I like them. They bring me joy, and every single one of them means something to me. Again, these things can mean something to me and might not necessarily mean something to you. You might not even understand why I got this certain thing. I'm gonna explain it to you. But again, just like my clothing, you don't have to understand it. All that matters is it's felt, because no matter what, I'm gonna be radiating that energy. My tattoos are for me. They're because I love them. They are a part of me. and they bring me joy. That being said, all of my tattoos have a message and are a part of me as well. So the messages that my tattoos hold are for the world as well. I get them because they are authentic to me. These messages are authentic to me. These words, these images are authentic to me because I am so passionate about spreading my message. And in doing that, the whole point of spreading my message is to reach the world and is to hope that the world feels it and is inspired by it and is reminded to spread their message, your message, through the things that you do. So the tattoos are for me, but they're also for you. It's just important to me to express that it's for me first and foremost, because who I am is what these are. These things are tied to my story and my love and light, and I gave them a place on my vessel, and they did not lower my value. They are me. They feel right. They did not devalue me or bring my value up. I am valuable, equally valuable as all of you. And it's just important. I just want to express this to truly open up people's minds and hearts about tattoos, and I'm so glad that the world seems to be more open to tattoos these days. Before I show you all the tattoos and explain things, as I was saying about being bold and in your face with my messages and whatever it is, the words, the clothing, the making the piece big and up front. If you notice, all of my tattoos are where I can see them. I like to be able to see my tattoos. Eventually, I'm going to be getting some on my back part of my body. But for now, I want the front of my body to be covered, and I'm going to be getting more and more. And I just like to be able to see them and for them to be present when you are face to face with me. When you're in my presence, I want you to see it all. Like, this is me, I'm an open book, this is what I'm about. So that's why they're all up front. Why not start off with the biggest tattoo I have, which is my chest tattoo. Hopefully I get it on frame. I'm wearing my contacts. I usually wear glasses, but my eyes are still not the best, so I can't see that well, but hopefully you can see it. So it says, "The clouds are calling," and it has a plane on each side, surrounded by clouds. And basically, I got this done in Hollywood, and it took 3 different sessions. The first was the heart, an outline of the heart, and coloring of the heart. Next was the outline of everything else, and then the last one was the coloring of everything else. And I got this because I love traveling. I love the world so much, and I want to see it. I want to see it all. I want to experience the different cultures and taste the different foods and feel all of the beautiful, diverse human beings' energies. When I travel, I want to look at the architecture and see all of the amazing things that us human beings have built, and see all of the natural artifacts that are there from this amazing, magical earth. This world is so cool, and traveling means so much to me. I am so lucky for the places that I've gotten to travel, and I want to travel way more because of all the things I just mentioned. I love people. I want to experience diversity and feel the energies and taste the food and look around and take it in and breathe in different places and expand my heart to different people and broaden my horizons and plant my gratitude in these places. I love it. And airports make me happy, even though I understand they can be stressful for some people. For me, it makes me happy. I love the colors of an airport. I love everything about an airport. I love planes. I love flying. I love landing. I love hotels. I love newness. I love and I'm grateful for all of my senses. And I know that that is a privilege. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it all. And I want to take advantage and not take for granted all of my senses. So I want to use them to explore the world in my personal journey. The next tattoo, since we're up close and personal, hello, I love you, you look beautiful, are my Be Nice and Be Kind tattoos. I love these so much. They might be my favorite tattoos. Again, if you're understanding and starting to understand me, the whole bold in your face, right up front, bam, this is who I am thing that I love showing through everything I do. What's more up in your face? Well, I guess this is huge. What's more up in your face than these? They are up so high and they're in that little ditch right there. So if you see my face, you see these tattoos and you see my messages. They're right there. I got them done in Las Vegas, and it was the most gentle tattoo experience that I've ever gotten. My tattoo artist was named Wes, and he just was like, it felt like he had a pencil on my skin, and he was just like, but it's awesome, and it's just super simple. He took creative liberties to do like a halo effect where you put like a little white shadow to make it pop more. And another thing you should know is that you won't really see cursive on the tattoos that I choose because, again, I want it to be bold and in your face, and I want it to be easy to read. Like, no confusing lines, just boom, you know what it says. So that's why these are big and basic letters. And be kind, be nice. What more is there to say? It is what I hope to encourage more of us to do. It's what we should all strive to do more of. It's just all about effort. Just trying to do this. It's within us. We are humans. Love is our epitome. And being nice and being kind and showing compassion and empathy and grace and patience and celebrating equality and diversity and all these amazing things. Being kind and being nice is something that we can all try to do. I know there's so many different things, it's so loud, and there's so many heavy things in life that happen to each of us individually that can make it hard sometimes. But trust me, all that matters is you try. You try to be your kindest self. You try to be your nicest self. And that effort is what will inspire not only yourself to continue to try, it will inspire others and give others hope that there is kindness in the world. And that is what we need. The more kindness we all show, the more kindness will spread. And isn't that what we want? We have the power to do it. Let's do it. So that's what it means. I've been about this since as long as I remember. I was always a nice kid. I was always the one that preached kindness and love from the earliest of ages. And so it's really important to me and obviously important to this world. And hopefully it's important to you as well. My next tattoo, I don't know where to go next. Let's go this way. This right here is a Japanese symbol that I got done in Okinawa, Japan, and it means serenity. And I got it done Tabori style, which is stick poke, and it was the traditional Japanese way. And there was one amazing artist in Okinawa, Japan, the only one there that did it in a traditional Japanese Tabori style. I wanted that. I wanted to honor that, and I wanted it to be as authentic as possible. In 2018, I was broken up with, and it was a relationship that I was in for 4 years, and even before that was on and off for 2, so a total of 6 years. And it was a lot. It was not the best experience for me. So after I got broken up with, my amazing mom was my hero. She came and saved the day. I lived in Hollywood. The day after I got broken up with, she flew to me. We figured things out together. and went to Japan. She treated me to Japan, and luckily my aunt and uncle lived there at the time, so we got to stay with them. And it was almost a month, I think, or 3 weeks that we were in Japan, and then we spent a couple days in Tokyo. It was amazing. But that time in my life was so hard because, like I said, it was 6 years of being involved with a person that put me through so much, for lack of a better word, sadness and pain. And that person was not someone that provided me with any kind of peace. And that is something so important to me. Peace, comfort, serenity is all I want, and it's all that we all deserve. And to feel accepted and hopeful and being able to trust people and not worry. There's a lot of stuff in life to think about, and love should not be something that is bringing you worry. And it brought me worry. It brought me worry every day. So peace, like I said, has always been important in my life. To not have that in that last relationship was hard. So after being broken up with in that last relationship, obviously all I wanted to do was get back to the fullness of my peace. I've always practiced loving myself and bringing myself that peace, so even through all of that turmoil, I found my own peace, but it wasn't full because the person I was with was not giving me that. So after being broken up with, I wanted to get back to that fullness, that serenity. Serenity is all I wanted, and it's what I seeked and hoped for in my next relationship, whenever that would have happened. And luckily, it happened a few months later, and here we are, engaged. So 2018 ended up being both the most, one of the most tragic years of my life, times of my life, to also being one of the most amazing times in my life, because I met my now fiance Tyler. And he brings me that serenity that I needed and I longed for from a partner. That's all I wanted. So I'm very, very happy to have that, not only within myself, like I've always tried to have, but also from my partner. And I am happy to say, as he expresses, that I give him that peace too. So grateful for that. But that's what it means. It means serenity, because serenity means peace. And not only do I advocate for peace, but it's also something that I want for myself and all of you, for yourselves, as well as the collective. All right, this one. That is a Superman symbol tattoo. And I got that done in Hollywood as well. I lived in Hollywood for a couple years. And when I was 18 and I first moved to LA with my mother, prior to being 18, I weighed 310 pounds. And when I was 18, I lost half of my body weight. And that was a big, big accomplishment for me. And it was a big change in my life. Not only that, but I went from living in Philly to living in LA, and I was 18, and it was like a whole new thing and a whole new experience in my vessel, and a whole different place to explore. And I made new friends, and I was figuring out where I wanted to go with my music and doing all these things, and it was an awesome time. During that time, I had found a Superman pen that I really loved at a store. I can't remember what it was called, but it was at Universal City Walk. And I got this pen, and it was a good size, and it was the Superman symbol. And I would put it on every single outfit. So every single day when I was going out exploring LA, I was wearing this Superman symbol on my clothes. So people started to recognize me as Superwoman. That, in addition to me losing half of my body weight, and being called Superwoman for that. And then when I would perform open mics, I would introduce myself by saying, "Hey y'all, it's Antonia Marquis, but you can call me Superwoman." And I love Superman. I've always loved superheroes. Obviously, they're about helping people and saving people, and that's what I'm about. I want to help. And Superman is an awesome example of wanting to help. He's like the epitome of superheroes. So I thought that his symbol out of all the other superhero symbols was the most fitting. So I was known as Superwoman, and by a few people, Supergirl, when I lived in LA. And fun fact, I was sitting down minding my own business one time in LA, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey Supergirl," and I look up and it's Mike Tyson. That happened, and he is included as one of the few that called me Supergirl. It was him and like 2 other people, but Superwoman was what I was called in one of the most magical times of my life. Also one of the most eye-opening times of my life, and one of the most scary times of my life, because living in LA was not the safest. And I experienced a lot there. But yeah, it was awesome getting to expand my life in so many different ways at that time. So of course I had to get the symbol. Underneath that is my first ever tattoo that says "stand up," and that is my handwriting. Hopefully you can see it well. There you go. It says "stand up," and I got it when I was 16. And I paid for some of it, and then my mom paid for the rest. And I just really wanted it. I've always loved tattoos, even before 16. So obviously getting it done at 16, it must have meant something to me. And my mom must have trusted me enough and trusted in my feelings of getting it enough to let me get it. Because the reason I got "stand up" is because, school was hard. School was difficult. Not only was I bullied for being overweight and different, I've always been more mature than a lot of the kids and just prioritized certain things more than the other kids, like compassion and inclusion and all these things more than the other kids. So when I would see other kids not prioritize that and just be reckless with their behavior, it hurt my heart. It was heavy. It was so much. And I'm a deep empath on top of all that. So I was like, oh my gosh. Whew. This is a lot. But not only was I bullied all throughout school since the beginning for so many different things. My weight. I wear glasses, I look androgynous, all these things. But seeing people be bullied, sorry, I'm not gonna just watch. I couldn't. You think I'm just gonna sit there and watch somebody call somebody else a name and threaten them and do all these things? Or you think that I'm just gonna watch somebody harm somebody else? No. I literally would speak up to the kids, to the teachers. I stood up for myself for the most part. There were some times where I couldn't. It was hard and I was the victim. So I'm human, so it hurt me. So I couldn't. I didn't have it in me to stand up sometimes. But what I did have in me was to always stand up for others when they were being bullied. I did not agree with that. Obviously, it's not right. I'm not about it. And it's not even just because I know what it feels like to be bullied. It's because I love humans. And I know that's not how we're supposed to treat each other. And we're meant to be an ally for each other, support each other, help each other feel safe. And I've known that since birth. And we all have. Some of us just forgot and need to remember it. And I wanted to help these kids remember it. because I was not okay with it. So I'd be standing up left and right. And that's how I became a successful comedian. Just kidding. Some people actually have asked me when I lived in Hollywood if I was a stand-up comedian, and they thought that's why I got the tattoo. I'm not an official stand-up comedian, but official a smirshel. But yeah, standing up for others and for myself and for what's right and for love and for equality and all the amazing things is something that's always been important to me, and hopefully is important to you, or you remember to make it important to you, because that's what we're supposed to do. And I would even as a kid talk to the teachers like, hey, can I speak to the students like as a student? Because maybe if they hear it from me instead of an adult, it would mean something deeper, like coming from another person their age saying, hey, it's not cool, like I get it, you're struggling, but you're loved. And you don't have to take it out on others. You don't have to take it out on others because you're hurting. Let's help each other hurt less. Like, I have asked teachers if I could do that, and they have said no. And then they would take it upon themselves to quickly say, hey, somebody just made it aware to me that there's bullying going on. Let's stop that. And then I'd look at them like, they did not just quickly in 10 seconds give a bullying speech when I was about to lay it down on these young humans about compassion and how to not bully and why it's not right. I was about to say some actual meaningful, potentially impactful words, and they just said, no, we're not gonna let you speak to them, we'll say it. And then they said it in the most watered down, basic way possible. That did not help. So obviously this is something I've been passionate about. It had to be my first tattoo in my handwriting. It had to be done. And here I am, literally over a decade later. I'm about to be 29 in September. I'm still doing what I can, doing my best, putting in efforts to stand up for love and peace and compassion and empathy and equality and unity and diversity. And I always will, because I'm dedicating my life to it, because that's what our life is for. Hopefully by now you can tell why each of these tattoos mean something to me, and how very passionate I am about all of them, and how they're an important part to my story and my message I want to share with the world. Next, we have, hey baby, look at me go from zero to hero. That's a line from a song by Jason Mraz called Geek in the Pink. And when I was in 8th grade, there was an end of the year talent show, and I had just discovered Jason Mraz, and that was the first song that I heard from him. And I loved it because it was so weird, and it was a mix and a fusion of genres, and I love that so much about music and everything in life. If it's a mix of things and different cultures and flavors and all the things, that's what I'm about. It's that the same idea of unity and diversity, mixing up our uniqueness and celebrating it. Celebrating the different representations is what we're supposed to do. So when I heard his music and that song Geek in the Pink, I was like, oh yeah, it's doing that. It's like hip hop, but like pop and singer-songwriter. I love this. And on top of that, I saw how he was using his platform to spread love and peace. And I was like, my passion is love and peace. And I'm pretty good at music. At that time, I played violin, clarinet, a little bit of flute. I was in chorus. I was like, I'm good at music. I can sing well. I enjoy singing. Singing's not my passion, but love and peace is. And Jason Mraz uses his platform to spread love and peace. I want to do that too. So Jason Mraz inspired me to become a singer and use music and my platform as a tool and a means to spread my passion of love and peace. I was like, oh my gosh, this human being is awesome. And they're being an amazing example of what you can do with with your platform and with your art and with your existence. So in 8th grade, in 2008, I decided to join the talent show, and I performed that song, Geek in the Pink, and I dressed like a geek, and it was my first time performing, and my first time performing after realizing I wanted to be a singer for the reasons I wanted to, and I rocked it. I literally left the stage like, if I could have dropped the mic, I would have, but I didn't want to break anything because it was the school's, you know, equipment. But it felt so good, and it wasn't perfect. And it was just about conveying the message of the song, and the song is just about, I don't care what you think about me. Like, I'm me, I'm who I am. And I'm awesome, and I love me, and I'm different, and I'm unique, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing about you as well, and that's what the song's about. It has other meanings, but the core of that song is just rocking who you are. Like, I'm the geek in the pink. This is me. And performing that song on stage in my true authentic self, not caring what anybody thought, just singing this song that resonated with me by this artist that was my hero and is my hero still, was just all about radiating that energy and sending that message out into the world and living and honoring in that truth in that moment. And it was awesome. So I'm so happy that I did that, and the whole school was completely silent the whole time. I was a kid that people bullied, and suddenly I'm on stage and the bullies are staring at me silently, and they're seeing me with this freedom. And I'd like to think in that moment that they were humbled and they could feel love from me. And it probably confused them inside, like, why am I feeling love from this person that I bully? And I'd like to think that that made them feel something good within themselves, and hopefully inspired them to be freely and authentically themselves, and not just themselves, but their most weird and kind selves, to be the best version of themselves. That experience will never be forgotten. And then after I got off stage, the choir teachers that normally wouldn't pay me much mind were like, oh my gosh, we didn't know you could sing. We would have been giving you solos in choir this whole time. And they're like showering me with this love. And I'm like, I've been here. But it felt good. And it was really nice that it was received so well, even though it was imperfect, even though it wasn't popular or the cool thing to do, and it wasn't about perfection or status or being better than anyone or looks or anything or money. It was just about being who you are and not caring what you think. And that was the message I wanted to share to all the students. Remember, I was saying the teachers never let me speak to the students, give a speech about not bullying. That was my way of spreading my message of being your kindest self, being yourself, and appreciating the authenticity and uniqueness of others, and just vibing with all of our amazing diverse beauty. That was my way of giving that speech. I'm so glad I did it, and it felt amazing. I still try to do it. Here I am doing it right now. On this arm, it's a whole lot of things. But let's start with, let's see, this line right here. So it says, sweetheart, without love, there is no life. Sweet is spelled wrong. It's spelled sweat. And that is my dad's handwriting, taken directly from a love note that he wrote to my mom and put on my skin. So when I was 2, my dad passed from cancer. My parents got married in 1983, and then in 1986, they had my sister, and then for 9 years, they were trying to have me. They went through IVF, they tried all these things, didn't work for 9 years. And then when they gave up trying, that's when it happened. I finally came to fruition. And at the same time that my mom became pregnant with me, my dad became sick with lung cancer, small cell lung cancer. So by the time I was 2, he unfortunately lost the fight and he passed. So I didn't get to experience my father after the age of 2. I can't remember anything. I can't remember his voice or his smell or how he feels or his presence or any of that. A way that I connect with him is by hearing the stories that my mom or my family tells me about him, or by reading the love notes, the endless love notes that my mom and dad would write back and forth to each other because they loved each other that much. They just passed each other love notes. Just these fully written things displaying their true love. That's what's been ingrained in me, just this true love and this fight, this passion, this purpose, this gratitude for life because it's uncertain, as you can tell by this story, and I'm sure you have a story like it or you've heard other stories like it. So it's important we remember how uncertain this life is so that we can not take it for granted. And we can remember to be grateful and to spread as much love as we can because we don't know what's going to happen. You want to spend the time that you do have here, the uncertain time that you do have here, giving your heart, right? And that's what he did. He gave his heart when he was here. And getting to know him, like I said, through stories or through letters is important to me because it's the only way I really can get to know him and feel this physical part that he held and wrote, and it's unexplainable. And the reason I got this line, "Sweetheart, without love, there is no life," is for many reasons. The message, truth. We're here to love, and we're here because of love, and we are love. So, just all around love. Obviously, my passion is love. But also the sweetheart part. He spelled sweet wrong. He spelled it sweat. You want to know why I loved that? It's because it's not about perfection. None of this in life is about perfection. All of this in life is about effort and trying and loving and caring. So the fact that he not only wanted to call my mother sweetheart, because she is a sweetheart, but also wanted to make the effort to write sweetheart down and record this message of love to give to my mom to read and to feel. That is the effort. That is the using your heart for what it's meant to be used for. That's what your heart is longing for you to do with it. Not to be perfect, not to be flawless or without mistakes, but to do your best and to try and to care enough to try to be the best version of you, uniquely you, and give your unique love to this world. And that is his unique love. Too often we get confused thinking we have to be perfect and we do something that isn't loving or is negative, that's just the end. Like, this is who I know. That's not who you are. It's not about being perfect. It's about trying again. That was him trying and succeeding. We're not perfect, so why would we expect our actions to be? If we stop thinking about the perfect and we just let the love flow, imagine how much we'll progress, because we'll stop striving for perfection like that. I not only have dyslexia, but I stutter. We'll stop striving for perfection and we'll start striving for compassion and doing our best. And to represent the love letters that they send to each other, I got this envelope. And I'm going to be getting my mom's hand here and my dad's hand here so it can look like they're handing it to each other. Here is a uncolored rose. When my parents were dating, my mom wasn't what she's told me, what I've been told, if I'm remembering correctly. She wasn't a fan of roses, of the red roses. So my dad would still want to get her roses, so he'd find different color roses, like white roses. And give them to her. And from what I've been told, he just loved to continuously give her reassurance and make her feel loved and special by doing those gestures. And that was just one that I thought was really sweet. To find something that she dislikes, but then find a unique version of it, so unique that she loves it. Again, effort and creativity and uniqueness and thoughtfulness and all the good things. Right here is my newest tattoo. So it says Tracy, Tony, Whitney, Tyler. Tracy is my mom's name, Tony is my dad's name, Whitney is my sister's name, and Tyler is my fiance's name. And the reason I got it there, again, no cursive. The only thing that's in cursive is my dad's handwriting because that's how he wrote it in the letter. But this, I got that there because my dad, before I was born, he had gotten my mom's name tattooed right here on his body, right here on his arm, and then underneath got my sister's name tattooed. And since I have his name, his name was Antonio, and I'm Antonia, he was like, she has my name, I don't need to get her tattooed. So I guess that was very true. He loved his family so much. He loved my mom and my sister and me, and had their names tattooed on his arm. So I wanted to get a tattoo in the same place with my mom's name and his name so that he can have his name tattooed on an arm, and my sister again, because I wanted to honor that tattoo, and I wanted to obviously show my sister that love. Her experience with the grief was so different because she was 11. We're 9 years apart. I was 2 when my dad passed and she was 11. So her experience with grief was an actual feeling of loss, whereas mine was like grieving a person I was too young to really remember or know deeply. So it's, and as we age, it's such a unique grieving process. It's like I grieve someone that I only truly know through stories and by reading love letters. And she's grieving someone that, and her and my mom, obviously. My mom in a completely different way. Their experience with this grief is just so different. And I just wanted to honor them in this way. And of course, my fiance, I love him. And in the same way that my dad loved my mom and got her name tattooed on him, not to prove anything or to guilt or to impress or whatever, but because, like I said, these tattoos are a part of me. And I love Tyler. I love him as a friend, and I love him as my partner and my fiance and the love of my life. And he is my family. So this is my family, and he is included in that. And I do not worry what anyone thinks about that, because again, like all my other tattoos, it's true to me. And I wouldn't do something if it didn't feel good. And it felt good to do, and it still feels good because I choose the things I do mindfully and authentically. And this is authentic to me, and this is a part of me. And I love these humans with my entire heart and beyond. Speaking of hearts, how can I show this? It's so hard to show these. I got one on each wrist. It's a heart with a 13 inside, and I got it done in Hollywood. Oh no, I forgot to tell y'all the places I've got these things done. I think everything I've shown y'all was Hollywood. The rose in the envelope was in Vegas, and the names were in Ohio. The hearts were in Hollywood. And for some tattoo shops on Friday the 13th, they have this thing where it's $13 tattoos and then $7 tips, so it's $20 tattoos. And I love hearts. And another thing that I love is that I, in life, go for things. Before I even get the chance to get nervous, I try to just jump in and trust myself. Trust my intuition, so I can make my intuition strong by trusting it. So like, I'm bold in that way. I go for what I want. I'm the one that asked my now fiance on our first date. I'm the one that said I love you first. I don't think anything is intangible. I believe in the possibility of everything, and that if I want it and if it's meant for me, it's gonna happen. And there's no way of me seeing if it's gonna happen if I don't go for it and just do it. It's really important, and has always been, for me to not let rejection take over my life. I know it is a big fear for many humans, and it's understandable because there's so many valid reasons for humans to feel that fear. So valid, all of them valid. And of course there's even been times in my life where I have felt that. But I feel if we all learn to release that fear a little bit, we'll see how beneficial it is to take the chance. And if you get a no, try not to see it as the worst thing but see it as this is not meant for me. It's not time for this thing to happen. There's something that is more fitting for me that will happen. Try to see it in that way. And that's how I've always tried to see things. So that has helped me not have that fear of rejection. And it feels so good to have that sort of freedom to just go for what I want. And not only that, it allows me to believe in myself without losing the hope aspect if something doesn't work out. And that's what I want for all of you. So again, a little hidden message. It might seem like a little $13 tattoo, but to me it represents all of that. But it has meaning, and there's even more meaning that it has now than it did when I got it. I realized that my parents were married for 13 years until my dad passed. So the 13 represents that as well. So it made me love those tattoos even more. And these tattoos were also done by a badass Australian Asian artist. And that representation was just awesome. I was so happy to get her as my artist. The act of going for it, not caring how silly it seems, or just being spontaneous, going for it, saying yes sometimes to opportunities, and living in the moment, I feel like, more than anything else, is what it represents. This was not an opportunity that had the possibility of rejection. I mean, they could have said, no, we're not going to tattoo you. But this was an opportunity nonetheless. My hands, we're almost done. I'm very thorough. If you can't tell by now, I am a Virgo Libra cusp, and I'm very thorough with my descriptions. I like to speak in the way that I'd love to be spoken to. Like, if somebody's explaining something to me, I want to know the details. I want them to give me the clarity and the thoughtfulness and the mindfulness. So I try to speak in that same way that I want to be spoken to. The reassurance, the all things. But these are my rose hands. Put them up, put them up. And I got those because to me, roses represent love and romance, and I cherish romantic love as well as universal collective love. And getting them on my hands is just supposed to represent love of all forms constantly being in bloom within me, and how these hands are tools to blossom my love out into the world. They're meant to help and to heal and to express these words, pull them out of my soul. It's meant to show and represent love growing and empathy expanding and planting our seeds of compassion in this world to leave it better than we found it, and to help remind others to do the same. I am constantly in bloom with my love in all of its forms, and that's why I got it on my hands. Since I am privileged to have these, and they help me and are such a big part of my everyday life, putting them on my hands made sense. And again, a bold statement. When I first got them in 2017, I believe, people were commenting on my video of me getting it with hatred. Like other tattooed people. And that would be the last community that I think would hate on me. Understanding the hate that tattooed people get from non-tattooed people, I would not expect for another tattooed person to hate on me. But they were calling me a poser because I had hand tattoos, and they think that because, like, when I wear long sleeve shirts, it gives the illusion that if you see this on my hand, it must mean I have full sleeves covered up underneath these clothing sleeves. And I was like, huh? Like, I wasn't going by any rules. I have never heard that. I don't think that when I see others. I'm not doing this, again, like I said at the beginning, I'm not doing this to impress anybody. I'm doing this because it's what I want to do. And I'm gonna have sleeves eventually, but I'm not fooling anybody. I'm just being me. I'm not posing. I'm actually being my most authentic self. It's my body. It's my rules, and it's my message that I want to spread. And if they asked me a question about what it meant instead of made a statement about their judgment of it, then they would have heard everything I just explained to you and understood why I got them. And that's just another lesson of course, not judging a book by its cover, but also pausing, considering, being mindful and thoughtful of the words that come out of your mouth or off of your fingers. Understanding the power in that pause. Like if we take 1 second before judging someone, even if it's not the most harsh thing, like that wasn't, I guess it was harsh because they were calling me a name, they were calling me a poser. But if they took a second to consider everything, the why, the reasoning, my past, present, my current situation, my mental health, my any issues I was facing, my life expectancy, and so many reasons why for us to consider. And we don't need to know the specifics in order to consider. That's also important. You don't need to wait until you hear somebody's struggle in order to care and empathize. You just have to understand that we all are complex human beings with so many different things in our personal lives, in our experiences, in our journeys. So all the things that you feel and you remember and you face and this and that, other humans go through that same experience, not your same experience, not in your way, and it means to them as much as yours means to you. That pause is powerful. Pause. Practice that pause. Practice pausing more. Practice silence. Know that silence is also a statement, is also wise, because then you can hear and you can learn and you can listen and you can grow and you can protect your energy and you can choose how to exert it, and you can understand the power of your frequency and energy in the words you say. This is not a normal tattoo tour. I'm sorry. This comes with bonus wisdom. Bonus wisdom. And I guess lastly, I always feel like I'm missing some. Maybe it's because I want more tattoos, so I feel like I have more. But not yet. Next ones, I'm not gonna say anything yet, but the next ones are gonna be up here on my shoulders. But my last tattoos for now that I'm gonna show you, come on, focus, are on my hands, and it says love you. And the ring finger on my left hand was skipped for this purpose, for my future husband, and there it is, and it ended up being that. Oh, another thing I should mention, this was done by my friend Bertrand in LA. My whole hand, he did all the things on my hand at different times. He did the roses one day, and then he did the hearts and love you right before I moved and left LA to go to Japan and get this. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I have a movement called LILO, and it stands for Love Yourself, Love Others. And beyond the movement, before that even was a official movement, it's been my movement my whole life. And that movement is love yourself, love others. Because the act of doing so, the act of taking the time to love yourself, is the very tool you need to help you to love others more and to truly experience this life for what it is and see all of the beauty in it. So love you is not only to me, like I love you, me, but also I love you so much, and I got you tattooed on me because I love you. I love everybody. I love the world. I don't love the choices that some people make that are very harmful to the collective as a whole and hurtful and flat out wrong. But I love humans. If I could be a representation of someone that cares about you, whoever is watching or listening, then maybe, just maybe, that'll change. That'll change things. People deserve to know that they're loved and cared about, and that they're special and they're magical and celebrated. They deserve to be supported and safe and all those basic human right things. And when we are reminded of that, and when we do feel that truly, authentically, change occurs. We hurt less, so we hurt less. We project that hurt less. We don't outwardly express that hurt through harmful means, and in turn, we carry that feeling of love within ourselves everywhere we go, and it is felt because then we are radiating that energy and those feelings with our words and our actions, and then others are interacting with you and feeling that, and then they're being affected. And then it kind of like never stops, and it just keeps rippling on, and it kind of sounds like that's our superpower. Love is our superpower. It really is. Think about it. I dare you. And then act about it, and dedicate your life about it, and put in the work about it, and care about it enough to make the changes necessary. It really is what life's about. And can't tell you what all my other tattoos from here on out are gonna be, but I can tell you that every single one is gonna have as deep of a message as the rest do. And they're gonna be about love and peace and empathy and consideration and kindness and mindfulness and enlightenment and wisdom and compassion and all these things. They're gonna hold love. They're going to be love's synonym. So that's it. And I hope you enjoyed. I love you deeply, remember? And let me know which of my tattoos resonates with you the most and why, or let me know if any of them inspired you, or if you learned something new about me, or anything that you have to say about what you felt. Comment, let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your words and feelings. And I love you, and I'll see you next time.